Welcome, everyone. This is Dawn Duvall with Shall We Stamp, and this evening we are going to be showing you the ephemera cards and two different packs of mix and match stickers and sentiments. And that can be found on page 15 in the holiday catalog. And here are some examples of what we're going to do. I'm just going to pick a few from this page. And then here are the sheets. Now you've got a card and envelopes, which are $12.50. You get enough to make 9, so there's 3 of each color, which is blue, red, and green, and they all have gold on the bottoms or sides, depending on how you turn your card for your direction of your card. And here are samples of what the envelopes look like. You've got 3 blue, 3 green, as soon as I get to it, and 3 red. And then you have the coordinating cardstock pieces that match as well. So this is going to make your holiday cards really easy to put together. And you can make as many. There's a lot of supplies that are left over when you get done, so you'll be able to use your own cardstock and continue to make cards. But the cards and envelopes will make 3 of each. So that's a total of 9 cards. And of course, you'll have your 9 coordinating envelopes. Now, the packs, the ephemera packs, you've got the joyful images, which are mix and match. They're $9.50. And then the joyful sayings mix and match. I would encourage you to get all 3. You'll have so many supplies left over, it's unbelievable. Now, the sentiments, both of those are $9.50, and they come with 8 sheets, which are duplicate, 2 of each design of 4. So you'll get a total of 8 sentiments, and then again the same with the pictures. Okay, with your photos and stuff, the images. So here is some of the things. They've got some gold, which I think is really pretty. Some of the gold lettering that says, season's greetings, holidays, wish you a Merry Christmas, all of that. And then you've got the pack of the Joyful Sayings pack, which is what I just covered. And this one is the images pack. And again, there's 8 sheets, 2 of each. So 4 sheets, 8, 2 of each sheet, for a total of 8. And here's all sorts of various. You've got some trees, you got some poinsettias, you got bows, ribbons, deers, elk, ornaments, all sorts of things. So you can be as creative as you want to be. So now we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you the 9 cards that I'm going to make. And we're going to first pull in a piece of the Knight of Navy for the first card, and you pick out whatever you want to use. Now these can go either way. So it opens, this is going to be the portrait card. Now you can, and I'll probably in the next card I'll show you can flip it over so that you can have the color at the top of the card, or you can turn it into the landscape mode as well. So this particular one, we're going to do a little winter scene. And again, these are all of the pieces that I'm going to be using. I'm punching out probably about 6 or 7 stars. And you have to look closely because I did try. Some of them I couldn't find. I had to go back and look again. I'm like, oh, there's one right there that I missed. So you just have to look at each page. There's so much on each page, it kind of all starts to blend together. And so just pick out what you want for your pieces of decoration and go through those. And I'm looking at more stars, and I'm trying to figure out what else I want to put on there. As you can see, I'm kind of looking at everything, not sure what I want to put on there. All right, and then we're going to add, there's another star I just found, so we're going to pop that one out. And these pop out, and then you need to add your adhesive to the back of them. All right, so you want to make sure you have some liquid glue, or you have your seal, or you can use glue dots, whichever is easier for you. Now, this is where I'm debating on how I want to put the card. So I'm debating if I want that there or if I'm going to flip the card over. So we're going to go ahead and leave it in this direction. And I'm adding the little snowflake pieces. I'm just kind of laying them in place to where I think I want them to go. And this is the hardest part. This is what takes more time, is trying to decide how you want your image to go. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and make that. Add our other snowflake with our adhesive. And again, I'm just trying to measure where I want the other one to go. I'm going to place it at the top right-hand corner. Just trying to get my idea of where I want it so I can get everything placed accordingly. All right, now I'm going to add the sentiment, so I'm adhering the glue to that. And I'm using the multi-purpose glue only because it allows you to move things around to reposition it if you need to. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the stars. I'm going to put a few at the top and a few at the bottom. I'm using my take your pick tool to hold the item and put a little bit of glue on it, but then I found that it started sticking to my glue. So you'll see that I'll probably start picking them up again with my fingers and trying to add the glue. And a glue dot probably would be a lot easier to do, but I just wanted to use the liquid glue. See how you can see how it's not coming back. So I'm just doing it with my yeah. So whatever way works easier. I was having a little bit of struggle here, as you can see. They're little tiny pieces. All right, so this, again, I'm trying to add the sentiments. Now I'm going to try to use my my tweezers, which kind of helps, but again, it's just, this takes a little bit of time, so just be aware that some of these pieces are tiny. All right, and then we're going to add a few at the top corner, right-hand side. Not sure what I was doing at that moment, but who knows. All right, and then I'm going to try to get some glue on the backs of these little tiny stars as well. And then we've got one more we're going to add. That a beautiful card. It's just so easy. I mean, it really is a nice looking card when you once you get them completed. They're really nice, even though you're gluing everything on there. It makes it a lot easier, and you can get a lot more done. There's a lot of materials left over, so you'll be able to make another, probably, I would think 15 or 20 cards. It just depends. Use your white cardstock or whatever colors you want to use. All right, so there's that card. Now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one is going to be on a card base of green. Now, as you see, when you fold this one, you can have the green in a landscape mode, or you can have it in a portrait on the side. So whichever you prefer. This one we're going to create on the landscape. And I'm pulling in my pieces. What I found that was easier to do was to pull out all of the pieces that I wanted to use and place them on each card so that I'd have them together. Then that way when I started creating, I had everything together and I could just pull them in and start gluing everything down. So that's how I tried to organize. Now this one I'm going to turn it in the portrait mode and have the green on the right hand side, which is where the card will open. So now I'm just trying to figure out if that's where I want it, and then add some little ferns, and I'm debating if I want to use dimensionals or not. So I'm contemplating what I'm doing. All right, so we're going to use some liquid glue on the back of this. I'm going to place it a little bit over the green edge, and then I'm going to put these little guys right below it. One below on the left and then one on top, kind of centered. And then I'll glue these down once I get those positioned where I want them. All right, so you'll see I'll add some glue to that. And both of these will get adhered, and then we'll place the image back on top. So it will be laying on top of this twigs or whatever you want to call those, and it's going to be poking out just a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and add the image. And then we'll add our sentiment. And this one I am going to pop up on dimensionals. Now, some of these you'll see, like this is a little strip. This is something that comes in your paper pumpkin kit. So if you're not familiar with that, you might want to take a look at that. Paper pumpkin are kits that come to, it's a subscription. They come to you each month. It's 20, I want to say, approximately $24 or $25 a month, which includes your shipping and all of that. And it's all inclusive. So you'll get a stamp set, you'll get your block, you'll have the paper, all of this stuff you need to make that month's kit. And there you go. I pop that up. But those are the types of dimensionals and things that you will get in those types of kits. All right, now we're going with the real red. And again, we've got red at the bottom, red at the top, depending on how you want your card to open and what direction you want that to go in. So I'm gathering my little pieces that I popped out and getting them together so we can start gluing them down. And I'm deciding if I want the Christmas on the white or on the red, if I want landscape, not sure. So see how you can have it on the left side and it opens, or you can flip it to a portrait, and you can also do it that way in landscape as well. So it just depends on what you want to do. I'm going to leave it on in the landscape mode, and this one's pretty easy. We're just going to add that piece of bells that have ribbon and everything attached in the picture, and then we're going to use the Christmas Happy Christmas, and I'm putting glue on the Happy Christmas. You can use our adhesive paper that you can cut out or apply to that. In this case, it's probably easier because these are already die cut. It'd be easier for you just to go ahead and add your glue. And I'm using the Tombow, and I'm just placing little dots, a little bit on each letter, just to make sure that it holds and adheres to the cardstock. I want to make sure I got enough on there. And I just always want to make sure I've got enough because I don't want it to fall off. And then I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get this off my hand. All right, so we're going to go ahead and place the happy right at the top. And now we'll do the same thing with the Christmas and add the glue the same way and have it sit out a little bit at an angle. So this can be a little tedious using these cutout letters, but it really makes the cards, it makes it stand out with that gold. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. I'm sure you're going to get a lot of compliments on your Christmas cards. But this is a great way that you can make a lot of cards in a short amount of time. And then, of course, you'll have a lot left over so you can make more cards using your own cardstock and supplies. All right, so that's the finished card there, and that is on the white with the red card. Isn't that beautiful? All right, and then the next card should be a blue. And again, I'm just flattening out, making sure that I burnish the edges really well, the score lines. And this one I'm going to place in the landscape mode with the blue and gold on the left-hand side. And then I popped out this piece here that says Peace on Earth. And then I'm gathering some twigs and little pieces with the holly, either holly or something that's got the little berries on it. And that's what I'm looking for. I see the holly at the top, but I'm looking for something a little bit different. And I thought I had popped them out, and apparently I didn't. See how many sentiments and things and pictures you get to go through? And then I have 4 other sheets on the other side of my desk, which is where I'm going now to pick up and look for the pieces that I need to make this card. See, I'm indecisive. I can't decide which I'm going to do. So I'm just going to keep looking and thinking, how do I want to do this? Oh, there's one of my fern pieces that I want. There's an acorn, or yeah, no, I'm sorry, a pine cone. There's a larger pine cone. And then I'm looking for one other piece of um, like the sprig, if you will. And I'll have to go back and look through the pieces again. That's the part that's a little time consuming because they tend to get lost in between everything else that you're looking at. So I'm going to pull out the holly in case I want to use that if I don't find what I'd like, because I see there's another piece of holly on the bottom of that card. As you see, I'm popping it out now. And I'm debating what I want to do. Do I want to use those? Do I not want to use those? Am I going to try to find the other sprig? It should be laying around somewhere. Still looking for it. And there's one that's got some little red berries on it. So I think I'm going to use that one instead of the holly. And I'm looking through this stuff one more time to see if I missed anything. And there is the other twig, if you will, that I was looking for. So they're hidden. So there you go. I found the 2, and we're gonna glue down our little holly in each bottom and top side. And then I'm going to add a pine cone. I'm just trying to place everything where I think I want them to go. I'm going to try to tuck that under between the 2 ribbons, and then the pine cone will go underneath that. And then we're going to put the larger one. See, this is the problem. You got to think about what you want to do. And this is the larger pine cone. That's why I'm trying to hide some of it because I think it looks a little bit too big. So I'm trying to tuck him under so it doesn't stand out and kind of overtake the picture. See, I'm still fidgeting with it. And I just figured, oh, well, that's what we're going to go with. And now we'll glue it down. My apologies for my arm being in the way. This is what happens when you are doing this is you gotta, you want it to look just right. So you take a little bit more time than you should, trying to get it to look perfect, which is not something that you need to do. But again, it allows you to place the items, the ornaments and sprigs and items where you want to get the design that you want. So you can design it any way that you choose because it is your card. And I wanted to tuck that underneath the red. So, and there we go. There is our blue card with Peace on Earth. Isn't that pretty? All right, now we're going to come back with another green. And this one is May All Your Days Be Merry and Bright. And we're going to do this in the landscape mode. And I'm gathering all of my other pieces together and trying to figure out where I'm going to place. And I'm burnishing my cardstock. And I think that's going to look good right there in the center. It's a nice size sentiment. So I'm just trying to, again, place where I want my twigs and ferns and what have you. Again, we have more acorn, pine, not pine, yeah, shoot, what are those things called now? Pine cones. I lost my train of thought for a minute there. So we're using the same items, but we're just doing it on a different color card in a different direction. So I'm just trying to play with this again. Excuse me. To get everything just so it shows more outside of the image. And as you can see, it's taken me forever to try to decide how I want this to go. All right, so I finally figured out how I want it to go. So now I'm adding my glue and we'll be placing everything down. Again, this is the part that is a little bit more time consuming because we're all want it to look just right. And really, when the person gets the card, it's going to look beautiful regardless. So might not want to spend that much time. And now we're doing our other little, I'm calling it a fern. I'm not sure what it is. It's some little twig of some form or fashion. And we're going to try to stick that underneath or on top of the pine cone. And then this one we're going to, not sure if I'm going to pop it up on dimensionals. I think that's what I was trying to decide. I want to go ahead and get these guys into place where I want them to go, and I'm going to put them in towards the bottom left corner or on the side to the left, so they're not all bunched up together. And again, I'm just trying to place it so I know where to place my other two images. So we want to make sure we get them kind of balanced is what I'm thinking I'm trying to do here. So again, this is something that if you have, teenagers or younger children, they could make their own cards so they could uh, glue the items together. If you don't want them using the liquid glue, you could just put glue dots on the back, and that would help them just stick them down. So it'd be a lot easier for the younger children or young teenagers to help create cards that they can send to their friends or to their family. All right, so we're placing that there, trying to cover up a little bit of the pine cone. And I think that's going to go just right. We've got one that's high in the right corner and then one a little bit lower. And again, I'm using the liquid glue just to keep it flat. But you could pop that up on dimensionals if you choose to do so. All right, now what happened there was my husband came in while I was videotaping and I was trying to do it without any sound so that I could come back and voice over this. And he started talking because he couldn't get the dog to go outside. So I will have all the cards at the end so you'll see what that finished card looked like. Now I'm taking a piece of the Night of Navy, I believe it's Night of Navy color, and I'm putting the blue at the top, and it's going to open in the vertical portrait mode, and I'm adding these trees. So they're going to be resting against the moon, the darkness of night. I'm trimming off that one little tree right there because it's a little too long for my card. If I had turned it to the landscape, it would have been fine, but I wanted it on this one in this direction. So I'm just going to trim that little tree off. And then I decided, and then these I'm going to glue down. Now, again, you can use your dimensionals if you want that popped up, but I decided just to go with everything flat for the most part. And I'm placing it a little bit higher on, so the background is, the nightly background is behind my trees. And then I'm going to add my snowman and my sentiment. And I'm going to pop him up a little bit higher so he looks like he's more in the front and the back. The trees are further in the background. So it's all a depth perception that we're trying to create. So we're going to pop him right there. And then we're going to add the sentiment. And this one, I'm going to pop that up on dimensionals as I try to locate them and put them on the back. And I'm just going to put 2 because it's a small sentiment. And push down on the inside of each dimensional, and it will pop the label backing off that you can then peel it off a lot easier. And there goes my sentiment. Now I'm taking this tree and I glued it to the inside of the card, and I really wasn't happy about that because it's too small. So I'm going to go back and find something else that I can put in there to help offset. That's a little too small. I may cover up with something else. I didn't care for that after I did that. So anyway, so I just think that tree is a little bit too small to be in that right-hand corner. So I'm going to find another piece of like an ornament or something that I'll put on the inside, and that will take care of that funky little tree. Now we've got a few more cards we're going to do. We've got, oops, my grid paper wants to slip and slide. Now this one I'm scoring it, folding in half and scoring it. And as I mentioned before, it can go in the landscape or it can go in portrait. And this one I'm going to do in the landscape mode. And these colors are kind of like pool party with some mint colored, lighter green. And of course, in these packages, I'm going to lay that over the little zigzaggy thing that has a tail. It's got a little tag on the left-hand side. And then we'll add our sentiment. Now these are kind of got some blue hues to them. So you could put this on the blue card if you chose to do so, but I think that it doesn't matter where you place it. It's all going to look fine, no matter, because they're all going to blend. They all have the red, blue, and green in the color scheme. So they will go on any card, and you can use your cardstock that you have, if you have garden green or you have a pool party or the night of navy or white, then you can use all of the rest of the supplies to see exactly how many cards you can get out of this pack. So it's all going to depend on how many pieces you use per card. And I will finish my pack up at some point, and I will let you know how many I ended up with. And now I'm going to add the sentiment. Again, I'm just going to lay it down. I'm not popping it up on dimensionals. This is going to lay flat. And we've got that on there, making sure that it's straight and adhered. Isn't that pretty? Very simple, but a beautiful card. Very pretty. Holiday wishes is what the sentiment says. Very nice. All right, and I think we have one more left, I believe. We'll see. Might be two left. And again, this one you can put it in any direction that you choose. And I think I'm debating at this point how I want it. And I'm thinking I want the red at the top, but we'll see how we go. And this is just a little white rectangle, red rectangle piece that I popped out. And then I've got a small Christmas tree with some gold decorations on it. Again, I'm gluing all of these down flat. And we're going to pop that on top of that. So it's into the background of the red. Makes your cards look really expensive, don't they, with that gold? And then this piece is green, and I'm going to place that on the left side. And that one I am going to pop up on dimensionals again as well. For some reason, I like the sentiments popped up. Not sure why I do that, but I do. So we're going to place that down there and see how quick and easy that card was. We're just going to have a little bit of the red show at the bottom. But see how easy that was? And all it took was 3 pieces of the images and a sentiment to make a beautiful Christmas card. All right, and we've got one more red one. And again, we're going to fold it in half, give it a good burnish. And I'm debating on, again, I'm trying to look at the book for some ideas. And that's the one thing that I would recommend. On page, as I mentioned earlier, page 15 shows you the whole sets. And then if you flip the page, there are sketches on the left side of page 16 that will help you design how they've designed those 2 pages, 16 and 17. And I chose to copy a lot of what they did on that particular page, as well as I think I didn't do any on 18, but we also have Memory and More cards that you can also use that do have some coordination with this as well, which would make really nice cards. But again, you just use what you want, and then you're going to have a lot of leftover, so you might as well make a lot of cards. If you don't use them this year, then you'll have them available for next year. So I'm trying to decide, this is a set of drums, and I'm trying to decide where I want this poinsettia to go. And I don't know if I want it there or if I want it at the top, and I don't like that. So I'm putting the sentiment down at the bottom on the white so that you can see it. And I still can't decide if I want the drums on top or put the poinsettia on the top as well. So I flipped the card over. Now the red's on the bottom. So I'm trying to decide which I think was going to look better. And I'm still trying to figure that one out. And again, I'm going to place that down there. And this is how I think I'm going to do it. But yep, we're going to go ahead and put it this way. Don't ask me why, but that's what I decided to do. So I'm placing the drums down slightly on the red, off a little bit onto the white. And for some reason, sorry about that, you'll see the finished card. I apologize for that. Now I'll go through quickly and just show you all the finished cards again. These are 9 cards using the cards and the images and sentiment pack so you can see what they look like. And the last one, I'll show you what that one is. So here they are, the green, here's the red. I'm going to try to set them out so that you can see them. Here's the Peace on Earth, which is on the blue one. And my paper keeps sliding around, so I got to make sure I tape that down next time because that's becoming a little bit of a pain. All right, then we have a portrait of the red with the tree that we just completed. And then there's the package one. Here's the snowman with the trees in the background. And then here's one with I'm not sure what that wooden thing is. There's the wishing you a Christmas full of peace and wishing, I can't read now, but anyways, wishing you a Christmas full of peace and wonder. And then there's the season's greetings where I finished that card and had the poinsettia on the right-hand side. All right. Thank you for watching.